This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. If you are watching this now, Washington just concluded the preseason at home with a W. A Washington W, 20-10 against the New England Patriots in a game in which Jaden Daniels, in a CVS receipt-sized list of inactive players today, nobody played in today's game. If you didn't watch Washington today, just know that De'Ami Brown, Mike Sanderstill, Frankie Louvu, Jaden Daniels, Dante Fowler, Brian Robinson, Jeremy Chin, Sam Hartman, Luke McCaffrey, Emmanuel Forbes, Terry McLaurin, Quan Martin, Michael Davis, Benjamin St. Juste, Austin Eckler, Percy Butler, Bobby Wagner, Jordan McGee, Tyler Biadasz, Andrew Wiley, Trent Scott, Brandon Coleman, Sam Cosmi, Cornelius Lucas, Jamison Crowder, Ben Sinnott, Zach Ertz, John Bates, Dorrance Armstrong, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Johnny Newton, Cleveland Farrell, and Olamide Zaccheaus did not play football for the Washington Commanders today. Today was the roster bubble. Let's make the roster invitational, in which we saw a whole lot of Jeff Driscoll, and we saw some good things from Briarwood's own Trace McSorley. Jeff Driscoll's day wasn't the nicest. He only threw for 78 yards on 18 attempts, 73 yards, my bad. And he threw a nasty work interception. Am I upset about it? No, because this is who Jeff Driscoll is. I'm not sure why he developed a fan club here in DC over a couple preseason games where he's supposed to look like a good starter against threes, but he looked like the Jeff Driscoll he's been in his NFL career so far. But let's talk about the good things, because I'm not going to keep you long. This was an awful football game to watch. This was a long, drawn out, where 20 penalties were thrown in this game. It felt like every other snap in this game was a flag. There was a flag being thrown. But let's get to it, though. Michael Wiley scored another touchdown for the Washington Commanders. Has he wrapped up the running back 3 spot? I have not seen nearly enough Jeremy McNichols or Chris Rodriguez Jr. or Austin Jones to keep Michael Wiley off this roster. What would prevent Michael Wiley from making this roster? Is Jeremy McNichols getting enough reps in practice to keep him off the field? Because I don't see it. Wide receiver, Byron Pringle made some catches today. Byron Pringle he's a veteran receiver. He looked like a veteran receiver against a lot of grocery baggers today. Martavis Bryant, did he turn back the clock? He had a couple catches. He drew a couple long down the field interference penalties. You know, there were flags left and right through the entire game. Did Martavis Bryant, he got in the end zone, caught a touchdown from Trace McSorley. Did Martavis Bryant and that one drive versus the Patriots do enough to make this team? What is the wide receiver position going to consist of other than the core 4? Terry McLaurin, De'Ami Brown, Luke McCaffrey, Olamide Zaccheaus. After that 4, who's on the roster? Jamison Crowder didn't play tonight. Is it him? Is it Jamison Crowder, number 5? Are we going to keep 6? Is it going to be Martavis Bryant at 6? Are we going to call Kaz Allen a running back or a receiver? Kaz Allen didn't do much of anything tonight. I know they want to keep him because they see position versatility out of the guy, but how does that wide receiver room stack up? Or is the wide receiver 5 or 6 potentially not on our roster yet? Is it going to be someone who gets clipped on roster cutdown day coming up on Tuesday, Black Tuesday coming up? All cuts got to be in by 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. But today's heroes of today's game, Michael Wiley got in the end zone. Trace McSorley got the ball rolling after a rough start, ended up throwing for 125 touchdowns. On the other side, Drake May looked good. We got our pads on Jacoby Brissett. KJ Henry had a sack early on that looked very reminiscent to the sack he got on the New England Patriots and Mac Jones last year, in which they called him a 15-yard penalty for roughing the passer. He did it again versus Jacoby, and Jacoby got up gingerly. It looked like he may have hurt his shoulder on his throwing arm. And is that going to add a wrinkle to the QB competition in New England? I think May should start anyways, but do they have more reason to want to start May now that Brissett might have banged up his shoulders? Not only that, May comes in and goes for 13 of 20, 126 yards, led a beautiful touchdown drive, and threw a touchdown to Jalen Polk, another rookie to rookie, hooking up on Washington's defense, who's looked kind of foodish during the preseason, but ultimately they only gave up 10 points today because as much as New England was moving the ball, they weren't making it count. They weren't getting into pay dirt, and they weren't making it count when they got to our side of the field. So KJ Henry, I see you. The defensive tackle duo of Fedarian Mathis and John Ridgeway balled out. I saw them in the backfield aplenty today, tackles for loss, close to sacks, and Fedarian Mathis got his hand batting down a couple passes tonight. This is the most active I've ever seen Fedarian Mathis. He's trying to get a job on this team. What's happening at safety? Percy Butler did not play tonight. Percy Butler has never shown me enough personally that he should be sitting out the final preseason game, but Defoe played, and Defoe kind of was in on a play that was a touchdown, but it got called back where he took a nasty angle to tackle the receiver on a deep ball. I believe it was KJ Osborne. Just shook him out of his shoes in the open field. Is Defoe going to make this final roster? I'm not sure. Jeremy Reeves is going to make the team. Jeremy Reeves is our special teams ace, and in an emergency or in a pinch, if he needs to come out on the field and be an additional safety, he can do that. He can do that well enough. Like, is he a good safety or anything like that? I would not say that, but he is an elite special teamer, and those things matter. Look at the New England Patriots over all those years. A captain of their team, Matthew Slater. Matthew Slater never did shit on offense or defense, but he was the heartbeat of the special teams. And Tressway, Jeremy Reeves, those are linchpins of our special teams unit. He's going to make it. Our starting safeties are Quan Martin and Jeremy Chin. So Reeves being one of the backups. Who is the next backup safety? Is it Tyler Owens? Is it Tyler Owens that's going to be behind Quan Martin and not Derek Forrest? Are they going to keep 5? Tyler Owens is going to make the roster. You can't not put that type of speed, size, height, weight, speed, athletic freak on the roster. And he's flashed in every game. He's always around the ball. He's a ball hound. And on special teams, he runs up and down the field with his hair on fire. Tyler Owens, you've definitely earned a spot, and at minimum, a practice squad spot. But no, that looks like a guy you want to keep on the roster going forward. We haven't seen Washington's linebacker unit out on the field today or on the field yet. So I don't have too much to say from the linebackers that sit behind Louvu or Wagner, but I pray to God nothing happens to Louvu or Wagner because we need them boys on the field because we ain't got much, a very bare cupboard behind them, but there's a reason why we spent good money to get them both on this roster this year. But Michael Wiley only had 7 carries today, 26 yards, but he got in the end zone. McSorley ran for another 40 yards. That boy was scooting. He put his shoulder into a couple Bamas today. He ran 2 guys over today, even stared one in the eyes after he did so. We put Kaz Allen in the backfield a couple times to do the running back experiment thing. I'm not seeing the Deebo Samuel, the poor man's Deebo Samuel that Cliff referred to the other day, but maybe they have a plan for him we haven't seen yet. Undrafted receiver out of Georgia, Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint, had a couple catches for 35 yards today, had a great Moss type snag over a Patriots cornerback over the right sideline. Maybe a practice squad candidate. I haven't seen enough for him to make the roster, but he's made enough to say we want to see more. And he has good size as well. Cole Turner had a catch for 25 yards. If you're a Cole Turner fan, if you bought a Cole Turner jersey, I think it's time to turn that jersey in because I don't know if 85's making the team. I see no reason for them to keep more than 3 tight ends. And if they do, has Cole Turner shown you enough that he needs to be part of what we're building going forward? I haven't seen it. He's had inconsistent hands, very stiff route runner. He's just learning how to block in year 3. I don't see a world where Cole Turner's on the final 53, but could be me. We finally seen Yankoff catch a pass today. Pringle caught a pass. Like, there wasn't much of anything happening. Jean-Baptiste is definitely going to be on the practice squad as someone they drafted, and he's shown a little bit of wiggle to him. You know, someone who I don't see having a chance at the practice squad or the roster, Noah Igbenogany. It felt like in the first half of this game, everything positive that the New England Patriots did happened on number 19, Noah Igbenogany. That boy will not be on the final roster of this football. So I don't care how fast he is. I do not see it. I saw Dominique Hampton, who came down at linebacker, in on a couple tackles today. Tariq Castro Fields looked like more of Tariq Castro Fields. He got burnt up the sideline early, but got saved by a drop. Derek Forrest, to see him play as much as he played today does not feel like a good sign for the guy so far. But what y'all all came here to see and what y'all all came here to talk about, Washington may finally have a kicker. I know they were chip shot field goals. I know they were extra points, but Cade York made them all. And minus the last extra point that he kicked, everything went straight down the middle. The last extra point started to hook left a little more than my liking can take, but he's the only kicker we've seen come through so far to just knock shit through the uprights. And we traded picks to get him. I know it's a conditional 7th rounder, but we traded draft capital to get Cade York. Unless something that's not supposed to be there shows up on the waiver wire Tuesday, I imagine Cade York is our kicker going into the season. Young kicker, mid-round draft pick 2 years ago, has one of the bigger legs out there. They said he made one from 70 in practice. He's made a 58-yarder in games. He knocked everything through the uprights tonight, so he passed his first audition. I almost wish we cooked like 5 or 6 field goals tonight, because to feel safe, we wanted to see a larger sample size considering we're on kicker number 4 this offseason. But Cade York checked the box. I don't know how much more else y'all want me to say about this game. The black unis look good at nighttime. Josh Harris spoke before the game, said a lot of things. For all of y'all saying, bring the name back, I hope y'all can finally bury that shit, pour some liquor on it, and never talk about it again. The name's never going back to what it was before, but we probably will revisit that name conversation after they get the team facility, after they get the new stadium, after they start to turn the culture around and we start to see wins and this organization be taken seriously again. We'll probably have a conversation about the name again, because Josh Harris is honest as hell. He said, I feel a way about the name. I don't need to speak on it right now. In other words, he thinks the name is ass, but that's not a conversation right now. Let's turn this football program into a winner. Let's be taken seriously as an organization again. Let's not get F pluses on our evaluation of how we run our organization. That's about it for preseason game number 3, y'all. Next time you see the Washington Commanders, we're going to be playing regular season football at Raymond James Stadium, Tampa Bay, 425. Jaden Daniels making his NFL debut. You don't know what the team looks like yet. I don't know what the team looks like yet. You should not be overly positive or overly negative right now. Let's see what the squad looks like in 2024. You do not have any read on what this team is going to look like based on these weak-ass preseason games where we saw maybe 7% of what our starters look like. Now the real games start. Now it begins. Busy week of content coming up. I'm going to have Louis T on the channel on Tuesday night. We're going to be talking about the 53-man roster once cuts go in on Tuesday afternoon at 4:30. It's going to be a post-cut clarity stream. We're going to be breaking down and reacting to Washington's final 53. Were there any surprise cuts? Do we add anybody on the waiver wire? All that good stuff. 8 o'clock Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time. Make sure y'all pull up for that. I'll be hopping on Justin Pugh, offensive lineman for the New York Giants, Justin Pugh's podcast, with a couple familiar faces this week because they reached out to me earlier today. The content doesn't stop. We only got one more bullshit ass week without NFL football until the end of February, y'all. We finally made it to the other side. Give yourself a round of applause. Washington wins its preseason finale at home, and the All Blacks versus our home crowd. Drake May looked good. A lot of this game did not look good. In a flag fest, Washington came out on top 20-10. Lots of roster conversation to talk about in the coming days. I will see y'all soon. I need to get some rest. Thank you to everybody that pulled up to my watch party stream. We're going to be doing that all season long if I'm not at the game. Until next time, hell to the Washington Commanders. Commander Rio, out.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.